I'm glad you could make it. I know we actually ended up rescheduling a couple of times, but the good thing is we're here. So, for anybody that hasn't watched Bling Empire, can you give us like a quick rundown of your career? A lot of your fans kind of know you as like a DJ at first, but how did you transition? And just kind of give us a little introduction about who you are.
Well, first off, I'm a DJ, and I'm actually a DJ because a lot of people weren't familiar with me, and a lot of people thought I was just like some girl that popped on Bling Empire. But people in the music industry know that I've been in the game for a very long time. I've actually been DJing since 2012. I've DJed all over. I did more of like international shows, like from Asia to Europe.
Yep.
And in about what year was that? I would say 2010, I think. There was a movie called Crazy Rich Asians that came out. Long story short, the director of Crazy Rich Asians is John M. Chu. He actually DM'd me on Twitter. And at that time he said, "Hey, Kim, I got a script. I would love for you to read for it. It's an all Asian cast," which I was just like thinking in my head, all Asians. And well, during that time I was really busy. I was on tour.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, fine. I filmed literally my audition tape on my iPhone. And next thing you know, I sent it out. Next thing you know, this movie blows up. This is like huge, especially for Asian Americans. And I've never regret anything in my life ever. And that came out and I was like, oh my God, if I'd known it was going to be this big, I would have put more effort into this, Everything happens for a reason. Because of that really opened the doors for Asian Americans. I remember getting so many messages from production companies saying, even Bravo messaged me, the president of Bravo had their people message me saying, "Hey, Kim, we want to give you your own reality show."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. I've kind of always wanted to do a reality show because of, my lifestyle and being on the road, being a female DJ in a male-dominant industry.
Yep.
Like, I kind of want to tell my story. It's kind of cool. So Bravo messaged me. We were like in the talks, I almost signed the contract. And they asked me to find other like girlfriends and stuff. Like, girlfriends, I don't even hang out with anybody, but okay.
Yeah.
They said, why don't you help us find, other Asian Americans? And then everything happens for a reason. I went on Instagram. I found Kane Lim. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he seems like he lives such a lavish lifestyle. You guys got to get him. They said, why don't you message him? So I was like, I'm not one of my casting directors now. I said, I'll do this one time. I message him. He goes to me, "Kim, don't sign anything. You got to meet my people." So I was like, wait, you got a TV show going on too? So that very night, I drove up to Jeff Jenkins' house. He is a producer of the Kardashians.
Yep.
And he put me on camera and he's like, "Kim, you are our missing puzzle." And so now I'm like, shit, I almost signed something with Bravo and I got this other show. But then they were so ahead already. They shot the pilot and everything. And I was like literally the last person they casted. And on top of that, I was like, he's got a great resume. I mean, he did the Kardashians. So I was like, okay, I'm just it's like a gamble. I was like, okay, I'll just go with him. And next thing you know it, everything happened very fast. We shot the pilot. We found that got picked up with Netflix, and
nice.
My life's changed ever since.
And how does that work? Like when you're in a reality show and you're with, all those other like members, how does your day-to-day look like? Especially because you travel a lot and you're just so busy as like an entrepreneur and DJ. How does it look like?
It was very challenging for me, especially for me, because I do my thing on the weekends. I travel different cities to do my shows and stuff. And so like when we were filming like literally a week. And so when they call you, you need to be available.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the storylines changes and you got to drop everything because you signed a contract with them. So it's kind of like you're obligated to do it. I got really sick towards the very end because mentally I was like, I can do it. I can manage it. But then like my body was kind of like really tired. So we've been filming season 2 all summer until now, actually. And
nice.
At first, I guess everything's been a surprise for all of us, even the producers. We didn't think it would be like a hit, So now it's like, okay, now what's next? We got to make it as good as season one. You know, that's the challenging part, I feel like, with any movies or TV shows, you know?
Yeah, there's tons of pressure, you know, especially like your fans, they want to see you, they want to see more of you on season two, and they want to see like, you know, bigger and better things. And, you know, so how does, you know, like getting into the spotlight and especially in front of cameras, was that just natural for you?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't new for me. I mean, being on like a bigger platform like Netflix is new to me, but I've been in show business before that. I've done a lot of the other TV shows overseas. I was the host of Yo MTV Raps in MTV Asia. You know, so I've done TV stuff, but going into reality show is a whole different ballgame. It's like opening up about your personal stuff, your life. And I wasn't really used to that, you know. I'm like, I'm a public figure, but then I still like my privacy. And now I'm in front of the producers. They're talking about like my, you know, a lot of deep, dark things about like stuff I didn't want to talk about. But I was like, hey, I signed up for this, so let's do it.
Yeah. So, you know, part of like one of the questions that I actually wanted to ask was, you know, when you mentioned how you went to go meet Jeff, like the producer. So they call you the Asian Kim Kardashian. How did you get that nickname?
I mean, they've been calling me that since. I don't know. I don't think we look alike. I think it's the dark hair, the makeup, whatever. I take it as a compliment. The way I look at it is like, okay, the Kardashian has built an empire, like
huge,
massive. So I admire what they have done in the reality world. You know, I think it's inspiring. So the way I look at it, like, hey, when they say you look like Kylie or whatever, I look, oh, great. I said, thank you. I mean, they're great looking people. So
yeah.
And I don't get offended by it. At first I used to. I was like, what are you trying to say? I only get offended when they say I'm trying to look like
you're trying to imitate her instead of like you're your own
I'm
person.
sitting home and that's all I'm doing. I'm gonna like try to you know, but I get over it. You know, I'm past that now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. So I want to get into a little bit more of like skill sets. So each field, you know, has different skill sets that are required to kind of stay on top. What are your biggest challenges to kind of staying on top, and like what skill sets do you need specifically to kind of be there? Because I know you mentioned you were getting a little sick towards the end of season one. So I'm thinking one of them is like resiliency, is like, you know, you got to stay on top of all your stuff and the reality, you know, show stuff. But I want to hear from you, like, what are some skill sets that you think people need to have in your, you know, kind of like in the position you're in? My
motto of life is always have thick skin in life. Definitely take care of your health, because without your health, you can't do anything. So working out is a huge deal in my life. Like that's the first thing I do every morning. Because I'm a woman that wears different hats. Like I do a lot of things. I don't just DJ, I do TV. I'm trying to branch out, do a lot of things in life. So it's just keeping that balance. You know what I mean? I spend a lot of time by myself. I feel like it's important to have like me time. Because what I do, I'm always around so many people when I'm performing. There's like thousands of people, and I'm giving out like, you know, my energy to different people. So I feel like it's important to have your alone time so you can stay creative and figure out what's your next move.
Yeah. And what does your alone time look like? Like you read, you meditate, you take a bath. Like what does it look like?
Yeah, you know, because my lifestyle is so crazy, I actually read a lot. I listen to classical music. I do the opposite of what you see on social media. Like I don't look like this. People think I wake up and I'm like, no. I am in sweats, no makeup. I listen to classical music. I work out. I spend time with my family. I learned to do that before. Before I used to be such a workaholic. It's all about work. I don't want to go out unless it's work related. I found that I became very depressed and not happy is because I didn't have a social life, you know, and life isn't about that. Life's about like, work hard. You know, we all want to be successful and stuff. But like, I learned like what else is important in my life is family. You know what I mean? And I learned to really make time, because I feel like nowadays we're so caught up in our life where like we forget sometimes what's really important. And what's really important is your health, your family, friends, important people, you know, do things that actually make you happy. I finally started doing that. I feel so much better mentally.
That's good. So which project in your opinion, like you have going on that's like, you know, that's just kind of coming up that not too many people know about that you're really excited about? Do you have any?
Actually, you know, I feel like Bling Empire has been just a stepping stone for me. it made me realize like, okay, I'm diving into more TV and film. I'm ready, you know.
Yeah.
Like before, my family used to be like, Kim, you should get into movies. You should this and that. And I'm like, but I'm all about focusing on one thing first and like kill it and then move on to the next, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you have people giving you advice, you should do this and that. But I feel like when you're ready, like, especially for me, how I am, like once I put my mind into it and I'm focused, then I'm like, okay, I can make it happen. That's just the way I am, you know?
And how do you handle the pressure? Because at your stage, like you play at a higher level than a lot of other people do.
I try to meditate. I try to pray. You know, I deal with anxiety like a lot of people, you know, I have stress and stuff, but that's why I work out. Really, that's my stress reliever. And talking to my parents, talking to close friends, you know, but I learned to actually reach out and talk about it instead of like holding it all in.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
So for the fans that are, you know, probably going to watch this, most likely going to read the article, what's one piece of advice that you can kind of give them for someone that looks up to you? Keep
going and like focusing on something. That meaning like, don't forget the distractions, forget with what anybody says, whatever you truly believe in your heart, like go for it. That means if you want to become like a painter, be the best painter ever, whatever it is, like just give your all, you know, and it's just a matter of time. It's going to work out.
Nice.
Yeah, I believe in timing. Timing's everything.
You want to tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, like before Bling Empire, I actually shot like a whole bunch of pilots for like literally 4 or 5 producers. And I was like pitching it. And I'm just like, wow, like I literally shot so many. And one mistake I did before was talking about it. I was telling people this and that. And I realized like, it's either like I'm jinxing myself. Like people got sick of hearing it. They want to see results.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized like work in silence, let success make the noise. Like that's when I realized when I see that quote, I understand it. I was like, wow, like that is so true. You know, people don't know this, but I've been shooting pilots after pilots for different like ideas.
Yeah.
And there was time, it gets hard, it gets challenging because sometimes like, you know, you have this great idea, you go to this producer, this production company, you're like, hey, they're like, yeah, you don't hear from them. And they're like, fuck. And then like a year later, you see your idea out, you know, you're like, that was my idea. But unfortunately you can't like, for example, that happened to me actually. But I didn't let that get to me. I was like, okay, cool. When you're a creative, you come up with different ideas. You're like, okay, if this doesn't work, forget it. What's something else? And that's when I feel like timing was perfect. I was like, when Bling Empire happened, I was like, okay, I get it. I did all of that just to prep for this. So when I went to meet Jeff Jenkins, I was ready. You know, it's hard. It's not easy. You know, that road of like really trying to make something come true is not easy. You just know that. That's why you guys got to mentally prep yourself. And when timing is right, it will happen. Yeah. That's good.
I mean, and it's worth it, right? Like, I feel like, look where you're at now, you know?
Yeah.
Getting a second season. Yeah. That's good.
For sure.
Like that. But again, you'll approve of everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, take care. Have a good night.
All right, you too.